Hey guys, and we are back. And today, what I wanted to go ahead and show you guys was, of course, how to set up the 12-volt alternator. And these, of course, as you guys know, the bug wasn't charging, and of course, alternator at fault. So what I went ahead and did is got a new alternator, and of course, I'm cleaning currently the parts of the alternator. This one came out really shiny. I'm very happy with it. These two I'm currently working on. They're still a little bit dirty, but of course we always want to go ahead and clean them up, especially the cooling fan, due to the fact that debris gets stuck in these and halts the efficiency of the fan to do its job. And of course, I just use normal engine greaser on that to get rid of the grime. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the crazy difficult part, which is the rear. And the rear, of course, consists of the backing plates as well as the spacers and the cooling fan. Now, the way that this is going to be set up, I'm going to have to rearrange myself, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so to begin, we're going to go ahead and find our orientation, and that's of course using the B positive as our guide for the alternator assembly. And the first one we're going to use is this backing plate. It's the lightest one out of the two. And this one, of course, if you guys can see, it has a little stomach pushed outward on one side and then pushed inward on the other side. Now, the mating surface is going to be the pushed inward side towards the back side of the alternator. Now keep in mind, this hole that you see here is where the spark plug wire holder goes. And this one is going to go always towards the bottom. And that's because when mated on there and the holder is on there, the wires will go underneath the alternator. And very convenient, actually. And then, of course, after that is settled in, the spacer is the next one to go. And of course, the spacer itself is pretty much the same way. One side is pushed out, the other one is inward. And then, same thing, the inward versus the pushed outward. And that's gonna mate right there nicely. Now, of course, the next plate is going to be this one. Keep in mind, this one does have a vent to it as well. This little vent, when you put it like a frying pan position, you can see it clearly right there, little frying pan right there. And of course, this one we're going to go ahead and mate it with the spark plug holder. So that bottom portion where it's opened is for the cooling of the actual alternator. So we're gonna go ahead and mate these together like so. And of course, as you guys can see, the holes align with the spacer and with the first backing plate. Turn it around and you can actually see that it has a lip. The heavier backing plate is also a bit bigger, so the primary backing plate actually sinks in there pretty nicely. And yeah, pretty much aligned. Cool. And of course, as mentioned before, here's the vent, and the vent is always going to be downward. So that's how that's gonna go. Okay. Moving along. Once you have this one settled on top of this one here, you're going to go ahead and first, primary, look for where the actual woodwork key is, and the next thing you're going to place is the actual holder and align it properly and make sure that it does not move. So this little right here, so that is aligned there. And then we can actually put the the bolts with the washer. These are 6mm bolts, in case you ever lose them with the 6mm washers. So we're gonna put these on first before we put the oh, let's see. There it goes. Cool. And of course these are a 10mm socket to be put back in. Cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hand tighten these just for the length of the video, you know. And of course, here's our vent on the bottom portion. Where's our B positive? On the top. Straight alignment right there. Cool. So now we have this piece on, right? And of course, my woodruff key is on this side, so it's at this angle here. And of course, I'm going to grab my little piece here, and I am going to go ahead and place it over. I want it real snug in there. Alrighty, we are 2 little washers. 2. Right onto there. Keep those guys there. We grab our fancy schmancy cooling fan. And of course, always check to see if there's no cracks on there. Sometimes they crack. This one, fortunately, I can reuse. It's not cracked, no dings, no nicks. And of course, I went ahead and cleaned all these parts out, of course, with just regular engine degreaser. Especially on the cooling fan, you always want to make sure that you don't have any type of debris caught between the fins. It can, of course, pretty much keep the efficiency from the cooling fan from doing its job. So we're gonna go ahead and place this little guy right up on there. There we go. And then we add one more little washer. And then we add this little special guy. And this one is a little bit special because this one has little wings on the side. Little wings, so they go upward, like so. There we are. And of course we add our new nut onto there. And of course, like previously mentioned, this one is torqued to 32 foot-pounds. And normally what people tend to do is they just get an impact and go ahead and tighten it, but make sure that you don't over tighten it, because then your fan won't spin and you're gonna install it and it's not gonna go anywhere. It'll be not as efficient. So go ahead and always make sure after tightening that it spins freely, like so. But of course, this one, of course, is not torqued. I will torque it all the way down and do a self-check on it again. Keep in mind that, of course, I didn't tighten the 10mm bolts that are on there currently. I am going to disassemble and go ahead and retighten those as well. So we're gonna go ahead and move towards the forward portion of the alternator. We're going to go ahead and use the woodruff key as our guide point, and we're gonna go ahead and grab the back side of our pulley. And of course, we're not gonna go ahead and put it cone upwards because that's a no-go. We're actually gonna place it downwards. Back side of the pulley for the alternator belt. Line it up with our woodruff key. Ta-da! And we're gonna go ahead and add the shims in place. And of course, we're going to add the front piece of the actual alternator pulley. And of course, this one has a specific orientation. This one has a half moon, perfect. And then on the other side, it has a half moon, but the edges are actually cut out to form edges. So they're like this, like a trapezoid, pretty much. So we're gonna go ahead and set that one down. And we have made our pulley for our alternator belt ready to go. And of course, you have the options. This is pretty gnarly. I really, really like this. Pretty much goes on there, correct? And then the nut, instead of using a nut like this that they provide you with, you have a little specialty one. So this one actually goes into the actual cone. Ta-da! And there you have it. There is your full assembly for your alternator. Make sure it's spinning freely, both sides. Awesome. And of course, keep in mind, this one I just did have it tightened. So of course, before I even assemble it and install it, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the two 10 millimeters that are on the back of the plate, as well as this one to 32 foot-pounds, and then of course the front one as well. Also keep in mind, you don't want the cooling fan to be hitting the backing plate. Make sure it doesn't hit the backing plate, because if you guys notice, the cooling fan has on both sides these little notches, and that will ruin the backing plate on there, as well as ruin your fan. And of course, make sure it's working freely upon installation, and we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you for watching this video. See you guys next time.